Hey everybody, I got a video here for you today, and I've been going over questions for my Q&A video, and that one's taken a long time to put together, so that will be a few more days down the line, because some of these questions I start babbling and I can't shut up. But a few subjects I thought I should make individual videos on, because they will make my Q&A video very lengthy if I start talking about them, and that is the Olmecs. And I was sure I had a video uploaded on the Olmecs, and I realized I never put together a video for that, and I have a video clip all ready to go. So I thought this was an important video to make, because I can talk about three subjects. One, a site I have not talked about individually. Two, an ancient mystery known as the ancient handbags, known in the most seen in the most ancient sites throughout the world. And also I can just briefly talk about the Olmecs, and not a lot is known, but they seem to be what came before the Mayans, and where the Mayans inherited a lot of their knowledge. And it seems the Olmecs, coming from about maybe 3,500 years ago, seem to inherit a lot of their knowledge from even an older civilization. But why don't we go down here to La Venta and just look around. And then I'm going to end this with just some video of pics set to music and a look through an Olmec museum that I thought was pretty cool. Now I'm also going to share a video that some young guys did down here on top of this pyramid, just briefly. And if anybody wants to tell me what they're saying, I need to brush up on some of my languages. But here is a look, and here is just an overhead view of La Venta, and in the clip I use at the end, you'll see a temple with some basalt columns looking up, and I think that is on the west side, so maybe the sunrise on the spring equinox is rising in alignment with that side temple and the main Great Pyramid. I just thought I'd mention that, but take a look for that at the end of the video here. But let's do some reading. Now this is ancient wisdom, and let's just read about La Venta here. It says, La Venta was inhabited by people of the Olmec culture from 1200 BC until 400 BC, after which the site appears to have been abandoned. It is believed to have been an important civic and ceremonial culture. Today the entire southern end of the site is covered by a petroleum refinery and has been largely demolished, making further excavations difficult or impossible. It says, although the earliest layer of occupation at La Venta dates to 1200 BC, La Venta did not reach its apogee until the decline of San Lorenzo after 900 BC. After 500 years of preeminence, La Venta was all but abandoned by the beginning of the 4th century BCE, and here's a layout of what this looked like. And this pyramid here, people look at and say, well, it's kind of an earthen mound. No. This is a step pyramid underneath here, and erosion and time and the earth put on top of this, but this is made with different materials. It says, the Great Pyramid was one of the earliest pyramids known in Mesoamerica. The Great Pyramid is 110 feet, 33 meters high, and contains an estimated 100,000 cubic meters of earth fill. The current conical shape of the pyramid was once thought to represent nearby volcanoes or mountains, and some have theorized the same with the Pyramid of the Moon at Teotihuacan. But recent work by Rebecca Gonzalez-Lauck has shown that the pyramid was originally a rectangular pyramid with step sides and inset corners, and the current shape is most likely due to 2,500 years of erosion. The pyramid itself has never been excavated, but a magnetometer survey in 1967 found an anomaly high in the south side of the pyramid. Speculation ranges from a section of burned clay to a cache of buried offerings to a tomb. And here is one of those colossal heads from the Olmec, found right near the site of La Venta. Going on here, and this is a big mystery, and this stone here was found in Guatemala. Here you see a car, giving you an idea how big this was. And this comes from the Monte Alto culture, and I mentioned them once, I think briefly in a video, and that seems to be even a culture older than the Olmecs, but here is a stone found that has been destroyed over time. Seems carved out of one block. That's a pretty incredible picture. It says the La Venta heads are thought to have been carved about 700 BC, but possibly as early as 850 BC, while the San Lorenzo heads are credited to an earlier period. The colossal heads can measure up to 9 feet 4 inches in height and weigh several tons. The sheer size of the stones causes a great deal of speculation on how Olmecs were able to move them. The major basalt quarry for the colossal heads at La Venta was found at Cerro Sinapec in the Tuxtla Mountains, over 80 kilometers away. Now, I'm just going to play a clip from this video. This was made shareable by the uploader, and they are on top of the pyramid here at La Venta, and it'll just give you a good idea how big it is. And it's very symmetrical on top. You can tell it has some uniformity to it. So here is a video. Somebody wants to do some interpreting for me. That's fine. But here's a good look. And if you want to put a comment on this guy's video saying thanks, I guess that would be appreciated.
Hoy estamos en La Venta, una ciudad importante de la cultura olmeca. Estamos en un montículo o pirámide, ¿no? ¿Quién sabe qué sea? Habrá que preguntar.
En general, un montículo representa que había una pirámide ahí.
Ahora ya todos saben.
Estamos justo, casi prácticamente encima del Museo de La Venta.
Pero muestra la imagen.
Esta es la visión que tenemos del lugar. La Venta es uno de los primeros municipios en Tabasco. Es pequeño, pero bueno, es muy famoso por este lugar, la zona arqueológica de La Venta. A unos kilómetros, a unos 100 kilómetros, tal vez menos, no, tal vez 50 kilómetros ya tenemos la costa otra vez. Y toda esta zona antes de llegar acá es zona petrolera, hay petroquímicas. Entonces, bueno,
estamos exactamente a 15 kilómetros de la playa.
¿Estamos a 15?
Sí.
Ah, mira, yo pensé que estábamos.
Ahí lo dice.
Oh. Bueno.
Now, we don't have a lot of written documents. We just have their images and their symbolism left on artifacts. And La Venta is a pretty good site for it, but here is what they call an offering. Offering number 4, and some of these are just numbered for documentation purposes, I guess. But here, this is pretty important. But I've had a lot of question on handbags, and here you see the feathered serpent god and this guy down here, and he is holding what they say is an ancient handbag. That's just the common term for these, because people are trying to put a label on what this is, and that might be mistaken. I'll go into that in just a second here. But this symbolism of these handbags is found in some of the oldest sites from around the world. What does this mean? Turn off your phone. But I've had this question asked quite a bit in my Q&A video, and I really don't know what to say about that, because I really don't know what these are. There's a few things I want to say about them. Maybe something you haven't heard before, but I'll just leave that open for debate. And I was going to go into quite a bit of my Q&A video, but I'm just going to tie it into this video, because I can make it on the Olmecs and a site that I haven't talked about before. But what exactly are these? What does this represent? That is a great mystery. Now, I mentioned this in one of my previous videos. This is Brian Forrester's Hidden Inca Tour website. But he goes over the Olmecs here, and he goes over some different sites. But this is a pic that just gives you an idea of what is under the ground. This looks like a ancient city with many pyramids, a ball court, obviously here. But check out Brian's website here. This is excellent. Pick up one of those heads, and where did the Olmec come from? Where did the culture before them come from? Some theorize that these are leaders or important people getting ready for what is known as the ball game in the Mayan courts. That is just a theory. Here is another one of those heads. But that'll give you just a peek at Brian's Hidden Inca Tour website. I think it's excellent. Well, let's go on to the handbags now. Now, here is what they call Monument 90 at La Venta. And here you can see this guy clearly holding the handbag. And these handbags are seen at Göbekli Tepe and other very ancient sites, or I believe in Ethiopia. Now, this is ancient code, and I will leave the link below. It says, the mystery handbag of the gods, depicted in Sumer, America, in Göbekli Tepe. How is it possible that 1,000-year-old depictions of the Anunnaki show the gods carrying a mysterious handbag, and halfway around the world we find the same thing depicted by ancient Mesoamerican civilizations? Depicted by the ancient Sumerian representations of the Anunnaki, the mysterious handbag of the gods is seen in several cultures in America and Göbekli Tepe. Is that a coincidence? And I really find it fascinating when something is found at Göbekli Tepe, just because that is so many thousands of years older than anything we have learned about. And going on here, this guy is obviously a fan of Graham Hancock. It says, compelling evidence found in the last couple decades has proven mankind is a species with amnesia. The countless discoveries made all across the globe has forced us to question everything about the origin of mankind, ancient cultures, and history in general. Slowly and piece by piece, we have been exploring and gathering small pieces of a massive puzzle that have driven us in the right direction when searching for answers mainstream scholars have not been able to fully answer. How do you explain the countless similarities among civilizations that inhabited Earth thousands of years ago, which were separated by tens of thousands of kilometers? Why did nearly all ancient cultures on Earth decide to build pyramids, and why are so many pyramids eerily similar? It's as if nearly all ancient civilizations followed the same blueprint. It's as if somehow ancient cultures were interconnected thousands of years ago. Now here are those handbags. This is the one found at La Venta. Here is the one coming from Mesopotamia. Those are the ones that a lot of people are familiar with. Here is a close-up of the one at La Venta. Here are gods at Tula in Mexico. And Tula is an important site because that has connections to the Olmec. And of course, at Göbekli Tepe, we have these handbags that seem to be depicted on pillar number 43. And this is the pillar that a lot of people, including myself, says clearly depicts some sort of message about a comet strike coming from about 11,500 years ago. It says, does the presence of the mysterious bag carried by the gods indicate that these two cultures connected in a mysterious way? Why did ancient cultures depict their gods carrying the mysterious handbag? What was inside of it? And most importantly, how is it even possible that the mysterious handbag is present in different civilizations around the globe, which according to mainstream scholars were never connected? What if the ancient Anunnaki, depicted by the ancient Sumerians, and the gods who visited the ancient Maya, Aztec, Toltec, and Olmec civilizations are in fact the same? And that is an interesting question to bring up. And in case you are wondering, I have talked about the Anunnaki, but not probably for a long time. Who do I think the Anunnaki were? I just think it's the name that the Sumerians put on people that they called gods who brought civilization to their culture a long, long time ago. Maybe these people were called the builder gods and the Shemsu Hor by the ancient Egyptians. I just think the Anunnaki is the name that Sumerians put on these people that brought civilization to their culture. Now, another site where they seem to be depicted on images and images that they are clearly holding on to something similar is down at Tiwanaku, and Tiwanaku in Bolivia seem to be some of the most ancient sites in the world. And here you see one of the gods at Tula, and that seems to be a site associated with the Olmecs and the Mayans. They seem to have some imagery on that seems to do with creation. Just want to mention that. Now, here's a look at 3 different depictions of these handbags coming from Göbekli Tepe and the Sumerians and La Venta from the Olmecs. Now, what do these represent? I've seen people do videos on this, and it's just a wide range of speculation. But I think what's important to me, in learning about ancient symbolism, and what do I know? I've never been to college to study ancient symbolism or ancient cultures, so this is just my guess based on what I know. These handbags here, I don't think it's right to think, what is this as far as it being a thing, an object? In ancient times, symbolism was put into important depictions like this, and it is a concept or an idea that they want to show. So instead of guessing what these are, as in a thing, I'm thinking a concept, and to me, the concept is carrying forward. Is this just knowledge that they want to carry forward, or something important that they want to carry it forward? Now, another thing I look at, turn off your phone. Now, another way I look at ancient symbolism when it has a person is which way they are looking. And this is just wild speculation. He is looking east, so maybe this is knowledge that they want to carry forward for the living. This guy is looking west, so maybe this is knowledge they wanted carried forward for the dead and for the afterlife. That is just wide speculation. That is just a guess. This could be knowledge carried forward for many generations, for all time. I have no idea. But these appear to be these same handbags depicted here at the top of this pillar, number 43 at Göbekli Tepe. Now, I'm going to take you out of this video, and please leave any comments, because it's all up for speculation. History is just a bunch of guesses and theories. There is nothing set in stone. Yeah, pardon the pun. But I think this is something very important because it comes from very ancient history. And the Olmecs seem to be tied together in their knowledge from some of the oldest cultures on Earth. I'll take you out with that look around La Venta and a look around an Olmec museum that I found. Hope you thought this was interesting, and you all have a very nice day.